I am Kris. I'm from Antwerp in Belgium, and I work in Fab Lab in Antwerp. To me personally, it's a place where lots of people that have lots of different interests and expertise meet to use machines that aren't readily available to them, and which get inspired by coming into the room and working on something and then running into a problem and not finding solutions, but then finding persons next to them that are working on similar things, and then having that kind of cross contamination. That's to me, in general, what a Fab Lab is most important for. I'm a teacher. I come from a primary school, and I have the tendency to like to control things. So letting go is a big part of the job. Seeing kids come in with their teachers and having those teachers explain that, well, this is not working for me because it's too noisy or too rough around the edges. My kids can't do this, and then having them walk out saying, well, you were right, this works. The kids get intrinsically inspired by these projects and then move out with results that makes the model tick. It's the good practice, the good feeling that kids leave with, and then teachers see that, and then that works. Usually they come in very structured, sometimes even in rows or in pairs, and then the teacher tells them to and then we explain what happens in a Fab Lab and what makes a Fab Lab, and they are all very excited. And 2 hours later, after they've been building stuff and experimenting with 3D design or 3D printing or laser cutting, then they have this thing that they hold in their hands, which sometimes came from their own imagination, and that you can see it on their faces. It fills them with pride, and that fills the teachers with pride because they are part of that. Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
In the ideal case, that is what teachers do. They come to us with, well, I want to do this with my kids. We don't have these materials at school. How can we prepare things in school and then finalize them in your place? That is a pretty ideal model. We are working now to get that model on the rails because that doesn't happen instantly or naturally. Because teachers need to come to your store or shop beforehand and do the work beforehand, and that's a bit tough because they are usually pressed for time and they can't just leave anytime. We are an educational facility, so we have the same hours as the schools, which makes it harder for teachers to come by. So, but we ask that teachers come by because that makes the bond that much tighter, and that makes the result that much more specifically catered to their kids. Innovation doesn't stop. It's an ongoing process, and the kids need to get involved in that process. And I think that if you choose your workshops correctly, that you can inspire kids to go beyond what is already possible. But you have to get them to think outside of the box, and that's what a Fab Lab usually inspires them to do, because they've never used that kind of machinery, and often they come up with solutions that are hard for us to imagine, but in their thoughts it's pretty clear. And for now they might be impossible, but if they dream hard enough and work hard enough, they can achieve those solutions. There is a Fab Foundation that has developed some channel to get ideas and to exchange ideas, but a lot of those things are, even though Fab Labs are a common thing, in my opinion, they are also a specific thing for a certain region. The 21st century skills are, everybody knows that they are important, but some aspects might be more important to some Fab Labs in Spain or in Portugal, while others are more important in Sweden. They all work for this, towards the same goals, but they might focus on other parts. and that makes it harder, I think, to make one platform. I haven't used the Fab Foundation tools a lot. We are mostly just how do you call it? Exchanging information inside regions. We started in Vienna because that's where we landed. We came a little early and we visited Maker Austria. That's the official Fab Lab in Vienna. They don't come from education. They're completely separated from any form of education, but they have a very vibrant community. They have 0 employees. Everything is even paid for by funding and donations, and some kind of membership, which is really cheap. I found a very vibrant scene, and I would wish for our Fab Lab to have that a bit more, because since we originated from secondary education, it's our job to cater to teachers from secondary schools and primary schools also, but it makes that harder to open up our labs to other people. We do that every Tuesday is open lab day. Anybody can come in, but it's just one day. This makerspace was open 24/7 with a badging system, which is really, really impressive. And I would like to evolve more towards that part. But the reason I mentioned the Vienna makerspace is because I found that they focused on different areas. They have a ceramics area, they have a 3D printing area, and we would like to evolve. We now have everything in one big space, well, 2 spaces, but which are joined, and it is separated, but it's not big enough to cater to an entire class with our 3D printers. And I would like to evolve to something like that, having different locations in one building where you can, a bit like the Media Lab at MIT, where there is a vibrant scene which uses everything, but if you have a class, you can focus on specific areas, whereas now we are always working in smaller groups, which then go 3D printing, go laser cutting, go robotics. I would love to see that.